KARTIK Pandit here with my friend Dr. CHAITANYA SHAH. In the last episode, episode number 2, we have spoken about why this series. In this episode, which again will make it small and sweet, is we are going to talk about a journey that a typical MSME faces. And Chaitanya has a very good story to share about a journey that he has seen about hundreds of SMEs and MSMEs in his career of advising to these kind of sector. So over to Chaitanya.
As you rightly mentioned, we will show with an example, 2 examples, regarding how the MSME owner journey goes through. And that is depicted in our next slide, which is MSME journey related to one. We can talk about, compare it with the cricket, which is very popular game in India. And the other one is the education. You can just bring the slide on. As we know, the education system starts, the child starts going to the KG, then the child goes to the primary, secondary, then graduation, and then the post-graduation. That is the journey in our education life. Similarly, if somebody compares it with cricket, which is again a very popular game in India, every child plays in the building cricket. Selected few go to the club. Lesser amount of the number of players go to the state level. From there, maybe still much lesser percentage make to the national level, and then at the international level. Now, if you notice, what will happen that each level you need a special set of skills, and these skills have to be built up. Either it is you are trained or you develop on your own, and that is how your journey either in education or in the cricket field takes place. Same thing is exactly applicable to the entrepreneur's journey. When you start at the idea stage or something, from idea stage, you go to the tiny or the micro stage. From micro, you go to the small scale. From small scale, you go to the medium scale, and then to the large scale when you see all different types of, large companies which are coming up. So these skill sets which are required, both as an individual and in terms of managing the business, is the entire crux in which the businessman has to ultimately gain mastery, understand the nitty-gritty, what is required in terms of theory, in terms of his skills, and how he needs to adjust. It is all in the hands of the entrepreneur, who has to basically drive the organization and his business to get the success what he really desires. And that is the focus here. And this the entrepreneur must understand, which we'll be dealing with in our subsequent episodes, how these things get affected and what are the different things which are required at different stage.
Absolutely, Chaitanya. Absolutely, Chaitanya. I think your comparison is perfect with cricket, which you start in your compound. I think every entrepreneur has an idea that he starts with. I think we come in the picture, and we'll try to come in the picture in the best way possible, has to convert that idea into tiny, which I'm sure every entrepreneur who started business has already done that. But the test really starts, the acid test really starts from tiny and micro to go into the small scale. And to be able to pass this test, there will be a few examples that we will share so that the tiny becomes small in a very quick way. To just give you an example, one, as Chaitanya said, is that it is not about an idea and startup. It is about being able to assimilate ideas from around and being able to grow, because growth is an appetite that every entrepreneur has. And we will, again, we'll support that growth and that idea. And in the next episode, we will try and come out with those test cases, those acid test issues that people face in tiny and small and medium, which leads into a large scale. Chaitanya, would you like to give one example of a test that an entrepreneur has to pass from an idea stage to a tiny and a micro stage?
Kartik, there are various issues as we could see, both in the education field, it is the syllabus as well as the skill sets which the student has to develop. Same way, when you are talking about the cricket, when you are playing in the building cricket, there are no rules, regulations, nothing, no big competition. But as you move forward, there are different skill sets, and it is the way the owner is able to adapt himself to the changing situation and the changing requirements. Otherwise, he will be left behind. I'll just give you a few examples. If you notice, today in Bombay, we find that, the various restaurants, like, Mani's, which started with a small thing, Jumbo Vada Pav, which started with a very small. There are hundreds and thousands of people who are doing small businesses. But very few people who have come out with the idea of running a chain of restaurants. Now, this is where you are moving from a startup to a tiny micro and then to a small scale.
Yeah.
Jumbo Vada Pav.
So the key, Chaitanya, as you are saying with this excellent example, is adaptability.
Yes.
Will play an important role. Yeah.
You have to adapt. And this is the most biggest challenge which the entrepreneur or the business owner is facing.
True.
Which we will be dealing with as we go along.
Well, it looks very simple to adapt, but it's the most difficult thing from our experience, isn't it?
True,
yeah.
True.
So, coming to an end of this episode, as we always say, await for our next episode. We'll be too happy to do it. So do subscribe to our channels. Comment are invited on YouTube comments of our channel, and you can reach out at Chaitanya CSHAH01@yahoo.in or kartik.pandit@gmail.com or on our YouTube channel.
Kartik, I would also suggest that the viewers, if they have any specific issue where they want us to take it up or address it at some point, we would be glad to do that, because our purpose is to make life simple and add value to their efforts.
Yes. Interactive sessions with feedback and comments, and if probably questions, would be most welcome, and we'll be too happy to address them to the best possible that we can. Of course. So again, we look forward to your comments and suggestions. So do use the comment box on our YouTube channels. Thank you for now. Bye for now.
Oh,